Okay, what up, friendos? Welcome back. They've only gone and done it, right? Fantastic. The grift that keeps on grifting. And they don't know when to stop, do they? So I figured, why not go over it again in painstaking detail, milk some of that. My camera's not on here, is it? There we go. Professional production, by the way. Milk some of that content that just keeps on giving. If they're going to keep trying to take people's money, I might as well do it in a slightly more ethical manner, which is to make people laugh and collect ad revenue dollars from YouTube. So if you didn't know, you won't be forgiven at this stage. Basically, Fantastic made, I guess, the day before, one of the worst games ever made. They lied about it the whole time and then released something that was not what they described it was going to be for multiple years in marketing material and things like that. They were then forced by Steam, presumably, or their parent company, or maybe under threat of legal action, who knows, to mass refund everybody. And we know that they were forced to do it because initially their post was just, we're leaving, bye, thanks for the money, we're going to use it. And this is half joking, by the way, because this is kind of what they just said. It was like, all the money raised will be used to pay off our debts. And then they just said, we're closing the studio and the game. And this was like a week after launch. It was fucking awful. And then, of course, they 180'd that and refunded people. So I assume this was like something where Steam turned around and was like, we already have all the money anyway because we've not paid you out yet, because it usually takes like 30 days or whatever, and you're not getting it. So we're just going to refund everyone. And then they turned around and said, oh, yeah, we've decided to do this. Well, they came back, didn't they? There's a load of stuff in between, such as blaming the game's failure on everyone but themselves. They blamed the game's failure on me, Big Fry, all the content creators that covered it the whole time, basically saying that we created so much negativity that we made the game fail, which, you know, I'd love to have that kind of power, but we don't. Like, we can obviously impact people in our audience. That's why they call us influencers. Disgusting word, by the way. But the idea that you can make an otherwise good game, just nobody play it, is, I mean, that's mental, isn't it? It's just not true. It's just not the case. What we can do is, you know, if something's considered by our audience 52% in one direction, we can maybe get it back towards 50. We can maybe get a few people to buy something or not buy something. But realistically, if the market accepts something or rejects something, it doesn't matter what we say. If enough eyeballs are on it and enough people try it, which with the day before they did, it will see the success that it's warranted, which, again, the day before failed so badly, so it's absolutely saw the success that it was warranted, which is fucking none. So for them to blame other people is just, it's really sad. And obviously then they got community noted a bunch of times, went away, and then came back and they said, oh, we're back, we've got a Kickstarter for this game. And you'll notice if you go through their Twitter, they've deleted almost everything, and they did it because they're just perpetual liars, guys. I know you know this, but I'm gonna still tell you anyway. They basically said in their new, you know, FAQ thing, which their website's fucked if you're on dark mode, by the way. They said the new thing that we're going for is honesty, integrity. We're going to be open with everyone. Then they delete everything, which they'd already deleted everything from before. But then they've deleted everything again and said, oh, we're now moving our activities to Discord, essentially saying we're quitting Twitter. Everything's going to be on Discord. Come join us on Discord. By the way, you can't reply to this, which is hilarious. And then, of course, they're back. You know, it lasted a week. And I'll remind you, by the way, they had a Kickstarter and they literally said, I'll read it to you in this terrible, terrible website. What will happen if Escape Factory on Kickstarter does not reach its funding goal, which I'll remind you, it didn't. If the Escape Factory Kickstarter campaign doesn't reach its funding goal, unfortunately, we won't be able to return. Now, you'll notice here it didn't reach its funding goal, which, if they're a truly honest company and they weren't lying the whole time, again, which they've said, oh, we're honest now, you know, we're going to stick by our word. Our word is, we're not going to be returning if you don't fund this thing. People didn't fund it. So what did they do? They cancelled the Kickstarter and posted saying that they're now working on a different game. So they can't even just go away. They lie about going away, come back, lie about the condition of them going away, get irrefutable evidence that people do not want your thing you're selling, and then just change the fucking parameters. If goalpost moving was an Olympic fucking sport, these guys would have all the golds. But they're from Russia, so I guess that analogy doesn't really work in current times. So obviously, upon their return to their glorious return to Twitter, they said, "Hi everyone, we are getting a lot of inquiries about a new prop hunt game." They're not. They're probably getting a few inquiries. They're not getting a lot of them. To further explore this idea, we recently conducted a survey to gauge the level of interest rather. We're happy to report that over 1,303 people expressed their support and enthusiasm for creating a new prop hunt game. Given this incredible response, we are carefully considering further development. Our goal is to reach as many of our fans as possible. The survey is still open. Stay tuned for updates, and thank you for your continued support. And they expect us to believe this. And maybe it's true. I'll give you some conditions on how this might be true in a minute. I don't know where they asked this. The question asked was, if we started a Kickstarter campaign to develop this prop hunt game, would you support our project? I'm supposed to believe that 1,303 people, 87.3% of those polled said yes, definitely. A tiny sliver, I'm not going to even do the math, it's a couple percent. A tiny percent said maybe, and 7.8% said no, sorry. I'm supposed to believe that they found a place on the internet that was so receptive to them, a company that has serially grifted people for multiple years, just has 1,300 people there, that are all just like, yeah, give us a new prop hunt game, we'll give you money for it. I'm also supposed to believe that you are competent in the face of overwhelming evidence to display that you're not. Because if you had this whole audience there that wanted a prop hunt game, and you knew your audience wanted a prop hunt game, why the fuck did you start with something nobody wanted? Why, when you have experience making the one game you ever made that had any popularity whatsoever was the prop hunt game, why would you come back and make something that wasn't the one successful thing you had that you now claim you don't have access to for legal reasons? Like, you say you don't essentially have access to the game or the licensing or whatever. It makes no sense in terms of, like, you're just stupid at this point. Obviously, you're supposed to do what works for you. I can understand wanting to do something else, and that's great, but everything else you did, you basically lied to people about, including this, and including the game you just tried to get money from people on. And for some reason, people was trying to give you money. Obviously, not enough of them, thankfully, but some people are fucking stupid. And I will just say, maybe due to the fact that they repeatedly ban anybody who goes in their Discord server for any reason, maybe they've cultivated a community of sycophants and weirdos, which is entirely possible. And this is how they managed to get such a skewed perspective on some random poll that they gave about a game that, when it was out, hardly anybody played in the first place, which I'll just pull up and show you just in case you don't believe me. Obviously, you can see the game came out. The game was popular for a little while. The game, I guess at this stage, the game was still eminently playable, but at the same time, you know, this is not something people are going crazy for, right? When it was available to play and was a polished version of something that they had investor money to spend on, and now they're asking for other people's money and don't have any of the larger amount of staff and support and funding compared to what they would have when they made this. So it doesn't really make sense that it would be a better game. I didn't see this when it came out originally. This came out, 10 days ago. So before their other Kickstarter had even failed fully, it was apparent it was going to fail, they were already asking about starting another Kickstarter, which just goes to show these people they're fucking useless. But the next one reads like this. Dear community, we have received many requests for a prop hunt game. Please also see the previous message with the poll. And after careful analysis and discussion with the team, we've decided our Escape Factory project has not generated enough interest. Good that you wasted whatever time and money on it then, without any market research apparently. Amazing. You're really showing that you've changed and you're very good at what you do. Our campaign on Kickstarter is unlikely to reach our goal of Singaporean dollars to 20,000. With this in mind, we've decided to temporarily suspend work on Escape Factory and postpone it until a more appropriate time. We've abandoned another project, yet again, which they've done repeatedly, by the way. If you followed their history, they'd usually, though, they'd release something into early access, take people's money, and then abandon it within very short order. So at least nobody lost their money on this one. Congrats, I guess. You've made positive strides. As part of this decision, our Kickstarter campaign has also been cancelled and no funds have been collected. However, your wishes are very important to us, and we are happy to announce the start of development on a new action horror prop hunt game called Items. I wonder if they've trademarked that already. This is exactly what many of you have been waiting for. Once we have a fully playable demo, we may launch a Kickstarter campaign to explore other options for release. It's important to us that our players get the chance to play and test the game in advance, just like the day before. You know, they repeatedly said, oh, you'll definitely get to play it before it releases. Didn't happen, did it? Didn't happen. Since the development of Items will require significant resources, we've decided to release mobile games in parallel to support the process. I mean, fine. Yeah, cool. I said this in the first place. If you want to come back as a developer and earn people's trust, do it. Do it off your own back. Do it off your own merit and your own abilities. Don't expect people to give you money for nothing, which is the first thing you tried to do when you came back. So I guess they're listening, maybe. But at the same time, they're still lying. They still lied about not being able to return if it didn't get funded. And then here they are, you know, a month later. All funds generated from these apps will go directly into development. We believe this will help us create the game of your dreams. Join our Discord, follow the development. This message is part of our new transparency policy. And then I posted the great meme, boo, did I scare you? I'm a job application. Which, you know, these motherfuckers are terrified of that one at this stage. Introducing the new action horror prop hunt game the same day, Items game. Visit the official website, Items, coming soon. And then they're just posting some characters. Like, there you go, look, here's some renders. There's some characters, 3D models. Oh, look, a new scam dropped. Don't give these people your money. True. Wait a minute, is this Frank Stone? Probably. This company is a joke. I got banned from their Discord in 25 hours. Well, you lasted way longer than most. I don't think, by default, I don't think my account would even be allowed to join, to be honest. Why don't you name your next game Scam? Would fit better. Got him. So as you can see, these 1,300 people that were begging for this game, they exist in some fucking quantum state where they're only wherever Fantastic asks them to be, because on all their social media posts, 16 likes, 10 retweets, which were probably clowning on them, to be honest, and one of them is theirs, and 46 comments, of which all of them are negative. Here you go. I found the one positive comment. Hey, it's great to see Fantastic is making a comeback. You guys are heading the right direction. Anyways, can you guys consider unbanning me on Discord? I know I were wrong when I criticize any people who don't support you guys. I want to say sorry for my extreme behaviors. So there you go. We found the one positive person, and they were too positive for their own good, apparently. So you're cultivating a fantastic audience there. But 1,300 people voted for you to bring the game back, and only 16 of them could fucking find their way to Twitter to drop a like on the post of it coming back. I'm sure the Kickstarter will go fantastically, as it has done previously. But there we go. There's your update on Fantastic, the day before, the grift that keeps on grifting, and with you watching, your contribution towards my rent this month. Thanks. Check the links in the video description, Patreon, Twitter, Twitch, things like that. You want to suggest me some content, leave a comment, leave a like, all those things. Gamer Sups, you can buy it, you can put it in a shaker cup, you can buy merch, really cool, actually super comfortable stuff I use pretty much all the time when I'm going to the gym, which is in my garden, because nobody else wants to see me wearing my waifu trousers, but there we go. It is what it is. You can get a 10% discount with the code in the video description, and I'll see you next time. Peace.